Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today I have another viewer request. I'm going to be making these cute baby booties as well as this bib. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, I'm going to again do a viewer request. If you have any requests that you would like for me to do, especially if it comes with instructions that you can't quite understand, I can try to help decipher them for you. Go ahead to my About section. I have my email that you can write to me there and send me your images or send your requests, and I can make a video of that for you. So today I'm doing this viewer request of the baby booties and a bib, and I just happened to have done this last year, and I made myself some I love green, so I made myself some green baby booties with a yellow bottom and a nice ribbed cuff that stretches to go around different sizes. This is probably infant size, but when I say that, it's like a generic infant size that probably would be a little bit large for a newborn, especially, you know, newborns have varying tiny feet. But I have this for you guys that I'm going to do today. I'm going to start with the booties, and then I think I'm going to end up with the bib. We'll see. I'm going to actually look. I actually have a book that I was using to make these booties and bibs, so we're just gonna follow that for you guys. And then I got it on Amazon, so if I can find the link, I will link that in the description box below. But then there was also a way to have a matching bib, and here it is here. I finished this, but I didn't finish it. I just had to put a decorative button or a safety button, like something that's not going to be a choke hazard. I did consider just knitting a button. I haven't decided yet, but I left some extra in case I was gonna do something with that. And so let's get started. So let me just put this one away, and let me show you where I have been getting my instructions from. So again, I got this from Amazon. I just Googled Amazon, you know, infant crocheted stuff, because you get a lot of stuff, and it's, you know, even if you type baby, it gives you stuff for like toddlers, and I think that's just way too large for what I was looking for. So this book comes with 20 projects. I've started some of them, and in this book here, it comes with a lot of stuff, abbreviations. It tells you the different kinds of hooks that they'll probably require you to use in their projects. These are skill levels. So I actually did I start with basic? I think I started with basic just to try it out. Oh no, I didn't. Oh, well, I did a blanket. I did a blanket, and then I did these bibs. The bibs, I think, are easy and not basic. But, and then it gives you all this info on skeins of yarn or spools of yarn, however you want to call it. And this kind of will help you a lot to get the exact size that the instructions call for. I do not listen to this because I'm terrible. But if you get this book, you can totally do that. I just use up the yarn that I have because I need to get rid of it, you know. So today I'm going to be working on these. I like this. I actually got it for this because you can have different days of the week. I used to have, when I was little, different days of the week clothes. It was kind of cute until, you know, you had to wear it the wrong day for a different day because of laundry. But anyway. And you can make all these little booties, and it's just a repetition of these instructions. So this one says it's going to be to fit sizes 6 to 12 months. So this is not newborn, this is 6 to 12 months. It tells you the kind of materials that you need to use, how many of it, and of course I'm not following the type or the colors because that's not what I have in my inventory. and then it tells you the size hook. I do actually have that size hook, so if anything, use your own materials if you have them. And then if you happen to, I have like a ton of hooks lying around, so I know I have some sort of size, and I actually do have a size G/6 or 4mm crochet hook. And then it tells you what else you could possibly need, which is the button for the top of the bib and the yarn needle to sew, I guess, the words on here, and then the button. But most buttons you're gonna need an actual needle. So alright, so it's actually having me start with the bib, so I'm just gonna do that for you guys in this first video. And then we can move on to the booties. So I'm just gonna lay this like this. I have, like, everybody's always so curious with how much room I have, like what my nail room looks like, and it's really not large at all. I mean, it's probably a little bit beyond this camera, and that's how much I have to work with. Maybe someday, somehow, some way, I'll be able to upgrade, but you know, times are tough. Okay, so, and this is how you save coins. Just make everything yourself. It's what you need to do. You know what's going to be in it, you know, especially if you have specific allergies. You can make sure that there's different types of yarn, so you can make sure that you can get yarn that's not going to be abrasive, especially if you're worried about giving this to little babies that may have allergies or sensitivity to certain materials. Also, if you're planning on making a bib and you want it to be wash resilient and as well as sturdy enough, you might want to use cotton. I think that would be the better material to use, but in my case I am using acrylic. Okay, just because I have pink. I did green, let's do pink, just in case someday I'm going to need pink. Alright, so I'm going to start myself off by starting a chain onto this hook. So what I'm going to do is, and this is, I'm going to do righties. Comment below if you want lefties. I will only go lefty if there are any comments for it, because these are larger projects now. They're not the crafter square ones. So for me to do, maybe down the road I'll do a lefty. But I have a long list of requests and projects that I want to put out that I do weekly, for the most part. So just to do lefty and righty for the larger projects is going to eat up a lot of time. But anyway, if you are following along with this video and you need me to slow down or speed up, go click on the gear. It's on one of the corners of your screen. If you click on the gear, there's a playback setting where you can speed up or slow down your video. And then of course, if you're a more visual person, you can click on the closed captioning CC button and then lower the volume on your phone. Okay, so to start out with, I'm going to take my ring finger, my pinky, and my thumb and hold the end of this yarn. And then with my middle and index, I'm just going to like spread apart about an inch and a half. And then I'm going to lay my hook perpendicular to the yarn, and I'm going to go down, out, and around to create like a loop around this hook. Then I'm going to kind of hold it where it crosses over so I can let go of this hand. I'm going to grab myself a little bit of yarn here. You want to pinch the end of the yarn like this with your thumb and slide this hook all the way down. And I like to do this because I like to have not so much leftover piece at the end here. So you see where it crosses over? You just want to pinch that together so you don't lose it. Like that with your thumb. Just pinch it together. And then we're going to yarn over. And we're going to pull this through that loop. And before we tighten this knot here, what you want to do is pinch that end again. And I want you to push this knot down towards your thumb. Your other thumb that's holding the end piece. Because we want to minimize the amount of loose yarn here at the end. And again, if you're someone that likes to conserve yarn, as much material as you can possibly save, that would be the best thing for you to do. Okay, so I pushed it down to where it's not going anywhere anymore. Then I can take this end and just pull it a little tighter just to make it nice and snug. You don't have to go too crazy. And then you're going to want to pinch the knot with your thumb and your finger and just gently slide it up close to the hook. You can pull on this side as well. And then you just want to leave a little bit, just like that. Okay. And then we're going to start with the first round of row of instructions, which is with A. And they're calling A... this is going to be the main color, I believe, for the bib, because this is letter A, and then the white they have labeled B. So let's situate this back down here. Okay, so with A, which is your colored yarn, and I'm holding this with the wrong hand. I'm really a lefty, and so I get confused with what hand I'm using half the time. I think one time I was doing rounds, I was doing a circle, and I realized that I like dropped the project and picked it back up and then was doing it with a different hand, and I was like, wow, this looks weird. But anyway, okay. So with the colored yarn, with A, you want to chain 20. So how you do that is, we have our yarn all wrapped up in your finger like this. You can put as much as you want, as little as you want. We're going to yarn over, which is basically putting the yarn over the hook like this. There's many ways you can do it. You can direct it yourself with this hand. You can direct it yourself with the other hand, however you feel comfortable with it. Okay, so you yarn over and you pull it through the loop. That's one chain. See this braid you've got going on now? We just have to do 20 of those, or 19 more of those. So let's go ahead and do that. Yarn over, pull through the loop, yarn over, pull through the loop, yarn over, pull through the loop, yarn over, pull through the loop. And you can tell if you're doing it right is if, like, we let this go, and you can see a nice braid like you see here. And if we flip it to the other side, you've got this weird looking, you know, there's like loops on the top, loops on each side. That's how you know you do it right. And with practice, it's all gonna look uniform and pretty. So don't be discouraged if you got big ones and small ones. It's all different. Over time, it'll look better. I mean, good thing there's 7 days of the week, because you can, by the time you do Sunday, that bib should be looking pretty perfect. Okay, if not close to. All right, so we have 5 here. I'm going to do this 15 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so just double check to make sure you have your 20 from the hook. We're going to count 20. So 5, 10, 15, 20. All right. Now for the first row, RS is right side. So there's a wrong side and there's a right side. So right side, we're going to be working on, we're going to do 1 single crochet stitch in second chain from hook, 1 single crochet stitch in each chain to the end of the chains. Turn, and we'll have 19 stitches altogether. It's a lot to say, but I'll show you, I'll break it down for you. Okay. So we're going to do our first single crochet from the second chain from the hook. So we have our 1, 2 chains here, and you see how it's a nice braid. I like to leave that. I like not to mess it up. So I actually like to work on the back side, and you'll find that most people that crochet don't. but this is just me. If you don't want to do it the way that I do it, then you can just count 2 chains from the hook and you just stick it into that braid, the top braid there. So we have our bottom and top, or front and back loops, if you want to call it that. So 2 from the hook, you put it on the top one or the back one, whichever term you want to use, and then you yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Now, if you want to do it the way that I do it, you count 2 chains from your hook, you flip it backward so you can see these humps. You can count these humps as well. There's a hump here. So 1, 2, you stick your hook into that hump. That way you can avoid, you know, messing up that nice pretty braid. Because you never know sometimes with projects if they leave this bare. Obviously we know that they're going to have trim around the whole thing, so you might not see this, but I just like doing it for me. So stick it into that back hump, 2nd chain from hook, and we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So this is creating our first single crochet stitch that has its own pretty braid. Okay, so we did that first single crochet stitch in 2nd chain from hook. Then we have to do 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch to the end of the chains, and in total we'll have 19. So we did just 1 now. We know we have to do 18 left. So for those that want to use the chains, I'm holding the chain like this. It's the top ones that you will be, the top ones right here, I'm trying to point with my hook, that you'll be sticking your hook into. If you're doing it the way that I'm doing it, just turn it on its back. You're going to be putting it in each one of these humps. Okay, so we at least know we have to count 18 now. So stick into your next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So you see how it's forming our nice little round or row here. I'm so used to saying round because I've been doing crafter square kits. But yeah, so now we have 4, and to make 19 we're gonna do 15 more. So I'm just gonna grab some more yarn. I like to grab a lot of yarn. We'll see how far we get with these instructions for this video because I don't want it to be super long. Oops. Okay. So 15 single crochet stitches. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. For this last one, that little nub of excess yarn, you can probably try to tuck it in to the stitch. So I'm trying to tuck that in like that. See how I kind of wrapped it around it? And that way it's nice and clean. See that? But we have our 19 stitches now, and I did them kind of wonky, so like my row is not perfectly straight. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. I know I changed tension there towards the end, but this is what it should look like after your first round. You're braiding on top, and in my case I have braiding on the bottom. If you didn't do it this way, you're only going to see one row. You're not going to see front and back loops or top and bottom loops. Anyway, and that's why I like to do it, because sometimes you have projects that are left exposed like this, and it's nice to see a pretty both sides. But anyway, for the second row, we have to chain 1, and then we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in the first stitch. 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch to the last stitch, and then 2 single crochet stitches in the last stitch, chain 1 and turn. Yeah, that's a lot. Let me break that down for you. Okay, so we're gonna do that turn that we were supposed to do in the first row. This is what the wrong side looks like. Let's just look closely. So this is the front side, and I feel like I can always tell because we have the braid on top, and I feel like each stitch on the side here, like right below it, looks like a braid as well. If you can see that, like a little V. And then when we flip it and we turn it over to the wrong side, I feel like that doesn't happen. Our braid is kind of missing. You know, you can't really see it as prominently as you did in the front. And then the V's that were in the front, they're now just dashes. So if you can see the difference, so you could see the braid more prominently in the front, you can see the V on the bottom, and then on this side it's different. Okay, anyway, if you don't have a safety pin, go and grab some yarn, maybe a different color yarn, cut a little piece of it, and you'll need a needle. And let me see where I have a needle, a knitting needle. Let me just grab that for you. A knitting needle, and sew it through that last stitch. You don't have to tie it, you just have to loop it and long enough so you don't lose the loop or the thread in there, and that'll indicate what is the right side. But I'm going to move on to the second row. So in the second row, we have to chain 1, 2 single crochet stitches in the first stitch, 1 single crochet stitch in each of the stitch up to the last stitch, 2 single crochet stitches in the last stitch, and we're going to chain 1 and turn. So we're going to turn now from the last row. So this is the wrong side now. And second row, we're going to chain 1. We're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in the first stitch. 1, 2. Now we know that there's 19 stitches in the first round, so we're going to do 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now, it says to the last stitch, 2 single crochet stitches in the last stitch. So for the 18th stitch or 19th stitch, I'm going to stick the hook into there and do 2 single crochet stitches, 2, and then it says chain 1 and turn. So we got my chain 1 and I'm going to give it a turn. So we have added 2 stitches to a row of 19. So 2, 2. So we should have 21 stitches at the end. Okay. So we're gonna do round 3, and that's basically having 1 single crochet stitch in each of the stitches, and then we turn. So I'm gonna grab some yarn here. And some booklets will tell you how many stitches you should have at the end. That just makes life easier. If not, you just have to do the math on it. So anyway, single crochet stitches in each stitch. So we know we have 21 stitches. We have to have 21 single crochet stitches. To the first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I slipped out of there, so I don't even know if that was 8 or 9. 3, 4, 4, so that was 9. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And we turn. Okay, so this is now the wrong side. Okay, so now we have to do rows 4 to 9, and we're going to repeat rows 2 and 3 times. We're going to end up with 27 stitches, and then we have to continue to where we get to 6.5 and 16.5 centimeters high. So we're going to have to keep track of a lot of things: what row you're on, how many stitches you have, and how high everything is going to be all together. And I'll walk through you each row of the way, so don't worry about that. But let's get this started. So we did the turn for the last row, and then I'm going to we're going to do the second row here. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches, 1, 2. And then we know that the last round had 21 stitches, so I'm going to do 19 more. single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then for the last stitch we're going to do 2 more. 1, 2. Okay, so finish this row. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn. So chain 1 and turn. And then we're going to do the third row, which is basically doing 1 single crochet stitch in each of the stitches and then turning. So we're pretty much going to be doing 23 single crochet stitches down the line. So I have my chain 1 and turn, and I'm going to start with my single crochet stitch all the way across. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. Okay, so now we have to do the turn, and we're going to go back to the second row. Just gathering up some yarn here. Okay, so I'm going to chain 1, chain 1, then we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in the first stitch. 1, 2. So we know we have 23 stitches across, so I'm going to do 21 single crochet stitches next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And then for the last stitch, we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. 1, 2. Okay. So then we have to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to repeat the 3rd row, which is pretty much 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch. So we are going to be doing 25 single crochet stitches. Let me gather up some yarn here. Okay. Chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to do the single crochet stitches, 25 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Okay, and then we just turn. So now we're going to repeat the 2nd row. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches into the 1st stitch. 1, 2, and because we know we have 25 single crochet stitches from the last row, I'm going to do 23 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and then for the last stitch we're going to do 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to chain 1 and turn. Okay, so now we're going to repeat the third row, and again we're just going to do a single crochet stitch in each stitch, and we know now that we have 27 stitches on this last row, so we're going to do 27 single crochet stitches. And I'm just gathering some yarn up here. I'm actually gathering a lot of yarn because this is the max amount of stitches that we have to do. And so once we complete this row 9, I'm going to show you what to do next, because it says continue even until work from beginning measure 6.5 inches or 16.5 centimeters, ending with the right side facing for the next row. So single crochet stitch into that first stitch. We're going to do 27 single crochet stitches all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, I don't know if I count that one twice, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. Okay, so we have 27 stitches. We did that 9th row. So what it's saying now, this clearly isn't 6.5 inches, right? Probably got about half, if not less than half. So what that means is we're going to repeat the 3rd row as many times as we need to measure 6.5 inches high from the bottom to the top. So you're gonna have to get a ruler. 6.5 inches, if you want to be more accurate, 16.5 centimeters. And when we're done, we have to make sure that we at least end with the safety pin on the left side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off camera here for now. I'm going to keep repeating the 3rd row, which is 1 single crochet stitch in each of the stitches to the end of the row, and turn. And remember, you have to chain 1 at the beginning of every stitch. So you can play this back if you need to, or pause it, or skip ahead if you got this done. And I'll come back when we have to do the shaping of the neck. But again, continue this instruction until you reach that measurement. Right, I'll be back. I am back, and I pretty much repeated the third row over and over again until I measured either 6.5 inches or 6.5 centimeters. Let me just remove a bunch of this yarn off of me. So I have this store-bought ruler here, and I wanted to go by the smaller the unit, the more accurate the size. So inches are great, but centimeters are best. So I chose the 6.5 centimeters, and then I'm realizing, and then you have to end up on the right side facing up. So right now it's on the wrong side, but I'm going to turn this over for the next round. So this is pretty much where I could end up and stop. So from this bottom part here, if you can see at the bottom of the screen, I'm going to measure, I'm going to pull this down so you can see the top, but I'm letting you know where I'm measuring from the bottom. I got my ruler here. We're going to put this on the side because I have no space. So I have it lined up at the bottom, and 6.5 is actually up here. But if you notice, if we flip this and did one more row, we would have to do another row to get to the right side again. So that would be more than 16.5. So it also says do this to 6.5. So on this side I'm using inches, and I got it lined up in the bottom. And again, here's where 6.5 is. I can do one more row. In fact, I don't even think I can do one more row because it's right here right now where it is. If I did one more row, it would exceed 6.5, but I need to do another row to get to the right side. So we're just gonna leave this here where it is, and we can count kind of like how many rows we left off to. So putting this on the right side, we have our safety pin on the left side. So let's count real quick to see how many rows this would have been. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here's where that 9th row is, the top of that 9th row. Let's see how many rows I did on top of that 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we did a fair amount of rows. And for you, the way that you are crocheting, it may not be that many. It may be more, it may be less. And that's where the book is telling you, as long as that you have the 6.5 or 16.5 inches. In my case, it's just slightly under both numbers. That's good enough. So we're gonna put this back in. I'm gonna grab my instruction book again, and I'm gonna situate this to where you can see that bottom part here. Now we're gonna shape the neck. Oh my gosh, and all my stuff on my table. I'm telling you, I have no room. Maybe one day, like I said, I'll be able to have more space. But yeah, so shaping the neck, first row, and it continues on to the other column. So we'll have to figure that out. This book is way too big. It's a normal size book. So first row is the right side, RS. We have to chain 1, do 1 single crochet stitch in each of the first 6 stitches, and then YOH. I'm gonna have to look at the cover of the book to find out what YOH is, because I'm drawing a blank at the moment. Yarn over, maybe? Yarn over something? YOH is yarn over hook. That's strange. Alright. Yarn over hook and draw up a loop in each of the 2 stitches yarn over and draw through all 3 loops on hook, single crochet 2 together made, turn, leave, remaining stitches unworked. Okay, so that's a lot. So we got to do our turn. So we have our right side facing us. So according to the first instruction there, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do a single crochet stitch in each of the first 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now it's telling us to yarn over and draw up a loop in each of the next 2 stitches. So these are the next 2 stitches. We're going to put our hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Okay. And then yarn over. It says draw through all 3 loops on hook, but there's 4. I did the yarn over and draw up a loop in each of, unless it meant, because we're pretty much doing single crochet stitches 2 together made. So I think they messed up here. I think that you're supposed to, after we do those 6 stitches on this side, we're supposed to stick the hook into the next stitch, yarn over, and drop a loop of the next 2 stitches. I mean, I could be completely wrong about this, but if you're trying to do 2 single crochet stitches made, this is how you do it. There's no yarn over in the beginning, and it says draw through all 3 loops. We have 3 now as opposed to 4 that we had before. So we're gonna draw through all 3 loops. We made 2 stitches into 1, and we're gonna turn. Okay, so now I'm going to just do this. We're just gonna lay this down on here. Okay, and that was the draw up a loop, drop a loop in each of the 2 stitches, yarn over, and draw through all 3 loops on hook, single crochet 2 together made, turn, leave remaining stitches unworked. Alright, I have a ton of stuff just in the way. Okay. Second row, we're going to chain 1. Okay. We're going to do a single crochet stitch 2 together over the first 2 stitches. So same thing that we did. We're going to stick into the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and draw through all 3 loops. Okay, and then we're gonna want 1 single crochet stitch to the in each stitch to end of row. Wow, couldn't read there. Okay, so single crochet stitch in each stitch. And then we have to turn. Okay, so we're going to turn. Third row, we have to chain 1. Okay, then we do 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch to last 2 stitches. So we're going to do 3 single, in my case 3 single crochet stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do single crochet stitch 2 together over the last 2 stitches. Okay, so in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so then we're going to turn this. Five stitches work 10 rows even. Okay, so we have 5 stitches now left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's telling you to do 10 rows. So let's do the first one. We're going to chain 1, then we're going to single crochet stitch in the first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we're going to repeat this 9 more times. So I'm going to let you guys do that. You have to turn, chain 1, and then do 5, and keep doing that 9 more times. I'm going to pop back in, and we're going to move on to the next row. Okay, so I did the 10 for the next row, and we're going to flip this. It's going to be on the wrong side. So wrong side, chain 1, 2 single crochet stitches in first stitch, 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch to the last 2 stitches, and then single stitch together and turn. So let's do our wrong side first. Just turned it. Let me just get some yarn here. Okay. So I'm going to chain 1, then we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in the first stitch. So 1, 2, then we're going to do 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch to last 2 stitches. So we're doing 2, 1, 2, then it says to single crochet stitch 2 together. So into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops and turn. Now this one looks like a paragraph. So next row, chain 1, single crochet 2 together, 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch to last 2 stitches. 2 last stitch, 2 single crochet stitches in last stitch, turn and repeat 2 rows twice more, and then we're gonna fasten off. Let's just take this bit by bit. This is a lot. Okay, so we're gonna chain 1. We're going to single crochet stitch 2 together. So into that first stitch, into the second stitch, yarn over and pull through 3 loops. Okay. 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch to last stitch. So that's 2, 1, 2. And then it says 2 single crochet stitches in last stitch. So 1, 2. Okay. Then we're going to turn, and we're going to repeat last 2 rows twice more. So I would guess that that would be here, I hope. Just getting some yarn. Okay, so chain 1, 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch to the last 2 stitches. So first stitch, second stitch, and looks like third stitch, and then we have to single stitch 2 together. So into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and we're going to yarn over and draw through all 3 loops. Then we have to turn. Okay, and now our next row here, we have to chain 1, chain 1, then we have to single crochet stitch 2 together. So into that first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Okay, 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch to the last stitch, and 2 single crochet stitches in the last stitch. So 1 single crochet stitch, and then we have 1 more left, so we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in this one. 1, 2. Then it tells us to fasten off. So I'm not too sure what this side is going to be, if it's going to be the button side or the buttonhole side. I don't think so. I think this is the button side, but either way, I'm going to leave a good amount of yarn when I fasten this off in case I need it to sew stuff together. So we're going to yarn over and pull through all the way, and I'm going to tighten this up, and that's how you fasten it off. So looking at the right side now, we happen to have one side of this bib. Okay, so now with right side of work facing, which we have already here, skip the next 11 stitches, join A, the colored yarn you have, with a slip stitch to the next stitch. Okay, so let's do that first. Again, let's cast on. Thumb, ring finger, pinky, index, ring finger, and middle finger. Hold those two apart. Hook perpendicular to the yarn. Go down, out, and around to make a little loop around the hook. We're going to hold the crossover right there with your middle finger. I'm going to grab some yarn. Okay. Then I'm going to move the hook down towards the excess piece here, not all the way, but where this crosses over, I'm going to want to pinch it, you know, right about here, so that it doesn't, that loop doesn't go away. Your hook stays in that loop. We're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through that loop, and then I'm going to pinch the end here so we don't lose it, but I'm going to push this knot towards that end piece near my thumb, and we're going to keep pushing it until that knot gets smaller and tighter. As you see here, it's to where I can't push it down any further. Once you get to this point, you can pinch that end and pull it out a little bit to tighten up that knot, not too tight. Then we're going to slide the knot close to the hook. You can pull this side out and then pull this knot in to get that going. I'm going to leave a decent amount in here. I'm going to slip this off the hook just like that. Try not to lose the loop. Okay. So here it says with the right side of work facing. Skip next 11 stitches and we're going to join with the color with slip stitch. So here we have the first stitch. We're going to count 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So here's the 11th stitch. We have to slip in the next one over. So that's this one here. Okay. So that'd be the 12th, I guess, if you want to call it that. And then I'm going to take my little loop like this. And I'm going to just tighten this up a little bit. I want to slip this through the stitch like that. Okay. Now it says to chain 1. So let's chain 1, yarn over and chain 1. Then we have to single crochet stitch 2 together over this stitch and next stitch. So into the same 12 stitch that we counted, put your hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch of that, yarn over, pull up a loop, then we're going to yarn over and we're going to draw through all 3 loops like that. Okay, and 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch to the end of the row and turned. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, this is where your brain actually has to work, which I don't like. But, okay. So, after it said that, it said, we're going to turn this. We're going to work to correspond to first side, reversing all shapings. So, we're pretty much going to repeat rows 1 through all the way here till we fasten off. Fine, but it's reversed. So what we just completed was row 1, so we're on to row 2. So you see how it says chain 1? So we have to pretty much reverse what we're doing here to match this side. So let's do that. Let's chain 1. Now it'll say to do the single crochet stitch 2 together over the first 2 stitches. Since we're doing this reverse, we're going to save this one till the end. So we actually have to do 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch to the last 2 stitches. So let me show you what that looks like. So into the first stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oops, fell out of my, okay, 5. Now the last 2 stitches here that you see, we're going to do the single crochet 2 together. So into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, so that was round 2 in reverse. So now we can turn. Okay, so now for row 3, let me just get some yarn here. we're going to chain 1. Okay. Then it says 1 single crochet stitch to each stitch to last 2 stitches, and then single crochet 2 together over last 2 stitches. I'm going to turn and do the 10 rows again, but in this case we're going to do the last 2 first. So into the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, draw through all 3 loops. Then we're going to do a single crochet stitch in every stitch, and we're going to end up with 5 stitches at the end of this. Okay, so now that we have that done, we're going to repeat 5 single crochet stitches for 10 rows. So let me do the first one with you. We're going to chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to do 5 single crochet stitches. So into the first stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so then we just have to repeat this 9 more times. I'm going to mark this on my post-it note off to the side. So chain 1, and we're going to turn, and then you guys are going to repeat this 9 more times. I'm going to come back in after my 10 rows are completed. Okay? Okay, so I did the 10 rows. And now we're going to do on the wrong side, same thing that we did for now am I supposed to reverse this? Oh no, this is where it's going to become a nightmare. Okay, so let's chain 1 first. That's the easy part. Chain 1. Alright, so it says 2 single crochet stitches in the first stitch. We're going to save that to the end. 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch to last stitch. So to last 2 stitches. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. Single crochet 2 together and turn. Alright, so we're going to do the single crochet stitches 2 together first. So into that first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Then we're going to do a single crochet stitch, another single crochet stitch, and for the last one we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, and then we're going to turn. Okay, next row. Now, we're going to chain 1, then it says 2 single crochet stitches 2 together. We're going to save that to the end. 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch to last stitch. We're going to save that, and then 2 single crochet stitches in last stitch. So that's the one we're going to do first. So into the first stitch, we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, and then we're going to do a single crochet stitch in the next stitch, another single crochet stitch in the next stitch, and then we have the last 2 here. So this one we're going to single crochet stitch 2 together. So into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so we're going to turn, and then we're going to repeat the last 2 rows twice more. So let's turn back to the wrong side. We're going to chain 1, and then we're just going to skip all the way to the end here and do single crochet stitches 2 together. So into the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And then we're going to do a single crochet stitch in each of the stitches. So it's 1 single crochet stitch, 2 single crochet stitches, and then the last stitch we're going to do 2 and 1. So 1, 2, and then we're going to turn and we're going to do this last row and fasten off. Okay, so here we're going to chain 1, skip this one, skip that one. Okay, 2 single crochet stitches in last stitch. So in the first one, let's do 2 single crochet stitches. Okay, then we're going to do a single crochet stitch into the next stitch and then into the next one after that, and we have 2 stitches left, so we're going to use those to do the single crochet stitches 2 together, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and then we have to fasten off. So again, I don't remember or know what's going to go on with this, so let's just give ourselves a nice amount of excess yarn in case we need it. And then you guys, I think for this part 1 we'll finish the bib, because now we're into the edging. So this is the whole thing done, and I know this is too big to even fit in the screen, but this is what it should look like. Hopefully yours looks like this. Comment below if it doesn't. Okay, guys, if you're having issues with trying to figure out and learn crocheting, I'm not a teacher, but I do have a membership. Check out the membership options in my channel. I do have like one-on-one Zoom or streaming sessions so that I can help you really break down what you're doing. I can see what you're doing, you can see what I'm doing, we can talk about it if you get stuck on something. I have some memberships where you are entitled to a certain number a month if you really want to get in depth with crocheting, and you can schedule that with me, because I do find sometimes a video is nice, but it's good when you have like someone there to actually walk you through it, and then tell you when you might miss something. So go and check that out. But we're gonna move on to the edging, which is the next color. So I'm just gonna go and get my yellow and we're gonna do the edging. Okay, so as you gather, you can have any color combo you want. Let's put this aside and see what's going on with these next steps. So let's see here. Edging. Join B with slip stitch to top left corner of neck edge. Okay. So we have our yarn here, and like I showed you before, pinky and ring finger and thumb, index and middle finger, hold it apart like that. We have our hook perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around to create that loop. Hold it right where it crosses over with your middle finger so you can let go. You can gather up some yarn on this finger, slide that hook all the way down to the edge. Okay, and where it crosses, I'm going to pinch it, like right there. So then we're going to yarn over, you pull through that loop, and then we're just going to pinch this end. You're going to push this knot all the way down, close to that thumb there, and you're going to keep pushing it down until you can't anymore, like that. And then we're going to pull the end like this, All right, slide the knot close to the hook. We're going to slip this off because we're going to take this. Now it says top left corner of neck edge, which is the worst instruction ever, because where's the neck edge? This is the left corner of a neck edge, and this is the left corner of the neck edge. Let me read this ahead and let me find out what they mean. Okay, so what does help? Reading on. Chain 1 single crochet stitch in same space as last slip stitch. No, that doesn't work because I thought it was this. Never mind, let me figure out where it wants you to go. Okay. Reading into this, I'm gonna go right here into the first, this edge, this left neck edge. Oh wait, facing the right side it should say, right? I mean, because you want it nice. Alright, so I have my safety pin side here. Make sure it's on the right side. So we got a right side. And we're going to go into the left edge. So that's going to be this stitch. We have our 5 stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oop, counted crazy. 3, 5. Oh, that's really 5. Maybe this one doesn't count. Alright, 3, 5. Fine, because this is the edge. Okay. Now I'm gonna get my little yellow loop, slip it onto here, and we have to slip stitch the top left corner of neck edge. Okay, like this. Then we're gonna chain 1 like that. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet stitch in same space as last slip stitch. So into that first stitch. Okay. Let's try to tuck in this little piece here, this little, by yarning over and pulling it right over that excess as we do our single crochet stitch, so it should be hidden now. Okay. And then work 1 row of single crochet stitches evenly all around edges and join with the slip stitch to first single crochet stitch. Okay. And this is where it gets crazy because they should kind of help you and tell you how many stitches you need, because we're going to be doing some fancy stitching for the second round, and we need to know how many stitches that's going to be to end up nice even Steven. But if it doesn't end up even Steven, I can show you how to fix that. So let's do this. 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch, and it's going to get a little difficult on the vertical. Okay, so let's do 4 more, since we know that's easy to pick out on this top row here. Okay, so we did our 4 more. Now what we did here seems like we don't need this, so you could cut it off. Let's do that. Let's cut off like and leave about 1 inch, and I'm going to show you how to tuck it in. So we're gonna pick, maybe each row is a stitch. So stick your hook into the next row down. Right, we're gonna have our excess piece lying across the hook as well, so that when we yarn over, you see how it's gonna be bunching it all together. That's how we're gonna hide it. Okay, and we're gonna do a stitch into each row. So stick your hook into this stitch here. We're going to lay that excess piece on the hook as well. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and finish this single crochet stitch. Again into the next row. Lay that excess piece along the hook. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and then finish off that single crochet stitch into that next stitch. Excess piece on the hook. Yarn over. Okay. And again, I think that excess piece is now gone, so we can go normal. Just stick your hook into the next row. Okay. Oh, is it really hidden? No, it's not hidden. Let's pull that back out. See this excess piece? It's just trying to peek its way through. Can't allow that, so stick your hook back in. Make sure that that excess piece is tucked in a good spot to where when we do this yellow, it's going to hide, at least try to hide that excess piece. Alright, out of all that I didn't. It's still poking through there. I could trim that off. But yeah, let's continue to, for each row, we're going to put a stitch in. That's how I'm going to do it. I don't know if it's right. We'll find out later. But if not, I can show you how to finagle it to make it look right. And it shouldn't be that way, but it's what we're working with. It doesn't really say how to edge vertically. And we're going to do this all the way around until we get to where we started, and then we'll start the fancy pieces. Well, I think I'm going to walk this with you up till we get to the bottom of the bib, and then I'm going to pause it so I can finish the single crochet, because I'm trying to get this video out in not so much time, so you know you're not sitting here forever, but also my editor won't give up on me halfway through. And so, like I said, we're gonna do one stitch per row. I'm going to get more yarn here. We're almost to the bottom side where we actually have our safety pin, just so that we keep track. I don't think we need to keep track of the right side, wrong side anymore. Yeah, so I'm just gonna remove it actually. remember 1 stitch per round or row. Oh my gosh, I'm losing it. Okay. And this is the bottom round now. So we're going to remove this safety pin. We don't need it anymore. Okay. Now I'm just gonna put my hook into that bottom stitch. So you know how I did it my way to where the braiding is all nice and pretty. Like I said, in some cases this is going to be left bare, so it's nice to have the bottom row look like this. But actually now we find that we're going to actually cover it, so it doesn't matter. But it is helping us, however, do our edging because we have front and back loops available, and it's making it easy for us to look at. So I'm just going to single crochet stitch all across, and then again 1 stitch per row all the way around like this. We're going to do the inside. You want to follow this. We're going to do edging all around this bib, right? And we're going to end up right where we started. And then I'm going to come back and show you how to do the second row of edging. Okay, so I did the single crochet stitch all around the bib. I love the pop of color. It's so loud. I love it. But anyway, we're up to the other side and we're going to do a slip stitch to that first single crochet stitch that we did. Okay, so now we get to start our next round, and this is where we're going to do the fancy stuff. I'm just going to show you how to do like 3 of them or something like that, and then I'm just going to pause the video. This is already getting way too long. But yeah, so working around the outer edge only, we're going to chain 1. Okay, so chain 1 like that. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet stitch in each of the next 3 stitches. So into that same stitch we just did, we're going to do 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then it says we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now it's so funny because the Crafter Square kit did the same thing. This SS, it's going to be a slip stitch, but in the abbreviations cover it's different letters for slip stitch. So what we're going to do, we did those 3 chains into the first chain that we made from there. So this back hump here, again, if you wanted to do how you do it, you can go on the top loop of that first chain. You know me, I like to go in the back hump, so I'm going to go in the back hump, and we're going to yarn over and pull through everything, and we made our peacoat stitch. So first in first chain, peacoat made. We're going to repeat from the start all the way to the opposite side, and we're going to fasten off. So back to the start, which is here. We're going to do 1 single crochet stitch in each of the 3 stitches. So after we do this peacoat, I'm going to go back into the next stitch, and we're going to do 3 single crochet stitches into the next stitches. 1, 2, 3. Got our 3 there. Then again, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to slip stitch on the first chain that we did, just like that. And then we're going to go back to 3 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3. Okay, see how it looks? It's forming that nice little bump. So we're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do a slip stitch on the first chain. Then we're going to do 3 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3. Now, just because this was annoying, and it's still annoying, this little excess piece that I was trying to hide behind everything is poking out loud and proud. So I'm just gonna cut this piece down. Be careful when you do this, you don't want to slice any other pieces of yarn. I just wanted to cut that out so that we have a nice clean look. You can move the stitch over that. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing here. Let me just walk you through this one more time, and then you guys do it all the way around till you reach the top here. And again, if it's not going to end even, I'm going to show you. So for me, I'll come back in on the top row anyway to show you how I finished this off. But yeah, we're going to do this same fancy stitching all the way around the bib till we get to the top here. So one more time, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to slip stitch to that first chain like so. Then we're going to do 3 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to come back, like I said, we're going to do this all the way around, and I'm going to come back till we get about here. Okay, so I did this all the way around, and because you never can tell really how doing stitching on a vertical will pan out, and they don't tell you in the instruction. So here I am at the end here. I want it to kind of match this, so we're gonna do one more picot. We got to do the 3, another picot, and a 3, and I'm gonna see where it ends up. So you'll probably have to do the same with yours. So I did the 3 here. We're gonna do the picot, and we're gonna probably fudge some stuff. Okay, and we do the 3, 1, 2, and I can already see that I'm short 1. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to put 2 on this one. 1, 2, because I want it to match this side. So I put 2 into that one. However, you have to finagle it on yours. So I'm going to do another picot stitch, the last one here for this, and then we have to end up with the 3. So 1, 2, 3, and we completed the fancy stitching on both sides. It's fairly similar. Let's see what the instructions say. So it says to fasten off. Then it says with B, make button loop at center back on left side. So this would be center back on left side. Sew button in position. If desired, embroider day. Okay, sew button in position. If desired, embroider day of week onto bib as illustrated. Okay, so let me get that together. Let me fasten this off. We're gonna cut this off here. Okay. I'm gonna fasten this off like that. And I'm actually gonna fish this in and out of stitching to hide it. So just keep doing that. I'm gonna just zigzag in and out of here. You can do it any way you want. Just hide that excess piece. I think that's the best way to go, rather than leaving it short and then there's a possibility of it unraveling at some point down the road. At least you have an excess piece to tie another, because you know there is wear and tear on these bibs, as you know, with kids. So just keep fishing this in and out. Right, and then I'm going to go get a button and I'm going to show you how I'm going to sew this on. Okay, so I'm going to sew, I'm going to create a button loop, and I'm just going to quickly make my little cast on. Oh, and of course, I'm not doing it the way that I showed you, which is why it was difficult for me.
Yeah, I guess this would be unusual in any other home, but
oh goodness, I still have, sorry, I had to turn off that TV. Okay, we've got a bunch of stuff going on. There's air conditioning in the back. There is 2 TVs. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab a spot here and I'm going to do some chains, because all it says really is with B, make button loop center back on left side. So this is just how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a slip stitch, sticking it on that 3rd stitch at the end there, and I'm just going to do a chain, a bunch of chains. Now it all depends on your size button, so this is actually the size button I'm going to use, and it has a little neck there. So you just want it big enough to kind of fit around the button. So let me see. Yeah, for me I have 5 chains here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on this end, and I'm going to fasten it off. I'm doing a slip stitch like that, and then I'm going to just fasten it off about 1 inch away, like that. Tighten it up, and like we did on the other side, you're just going to want to fish it in and out of the stitching to kind of hide that excess piece, just like that. Okay. And then what we're going to do is you're going to grab just some regular needle and thread. And if you can get it to match, that's great. I'm not, because I don't have yellow. But what I'm going to do is we're going to sew this right at the top corner. so we can do one of these. So I got my needle and thread here. Just gonna go, I don't even know what fell, sound like something fell. I don't know, just stick this somewhere. I'm not a sewer, so if you know how to sew, or if you find a place to sew on YouTube, that'd be great. But I'm just going to do a simple okay, I'm gonna pull this to where it's not too tight, but I want to anchor this down and tie this up. I'm gonna go around this several times. So you want a knot, a good knot, but not too tight, because you want to have that button move a little bit. But I'm gonna double knot it, and then I'm gonna just go back in where I put the needle in. I'm gonna use that as my markers, but just keep fishing this through your button, around and around until you get this around, like, I'm gonna try making 5 passes just so that I get a nice secure hold on it. So that's 2. And I'm gonna finish it up by tying on the back side, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I have this around 5 times the button, and I tied it 3 times in the back. And so now I'm just going to trim this off. Okay, set this aside for now. If you want to check it, you can go and check it. Slip the loop over the button and pull. So that should fit nicely around the bottom of the neck. So now it says that you can embroider day of the week onto the bib by doing letters using the chain stitch, and that's some talent right there. We can try doing that. I was actually just gonna sew it, so let's I'm gonna close this book. I have a little picture of it here on the side, and I'm gonna try to do that. I mean, I'm not, if this doesn't work out, then I'm totally gonna undo it. Okay, and I have my backup needle with, it says to split your yarn in half, and that's what I did. This is my backup in case my embroidery doesn't work with the hook. So again, I want to cast on a loop like we have for all the other times we did this. Okay. Now, I'm not too sure exactly how I would do this. So let me slide this up. Alright, so maybe we should try. Okay, so this is spanned across 2 rows. So 2 rows, let's just randomly, like let's say Sunday would fit here. Again, they don't tell you. So this is going through one side and through the other side. I'm just going to put this on there, tighten it up a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to slip this through here. I mean, honestly, I don't like writing or anything on here. And look, I even dropped it from the hook. I'm not a fan of, I just like things plain. Oh, and this is not going to even work because I put it at the end of the S. So let's take this out gently. Let's put it here, let's say. I guess, like I said, as you do, I'm starting with Sunday. You can start with Monday. Whatever day you end up at the end of it, you're going to become a pro. So, let's start. So we're going to embroider by going into each. Embroidering is when you have a canvas and there's these holes and you sew them in between. That's pretty much how I'm going to try doing this thing. So on this side, you just have to feel for it. So you're just going to yarn over and slip stitch through the chains. And that's how we're going to get this done. So just keep doing that all the way. Okay. And then as you think the S is going to turn, is how you would start moving around your piece here. Okay. Oh gosh, I hope I don't get a copyright for this sound. Okay, so we're just slipping this chain by chain, speaking a little loudly so you don't hear the music. And you're just gonna want to, again, just maneuver to make letters. And again, I personally don't like to have letters. So I'm just going to do this S for you guys. I'm going to show you how to finish off, and then you can continue doing this for all the letters for S. So we have this right here. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to release this off of the hook. I'm going to come back in through that same spot, drag that loop in. Okay. Put this on the hook, and then you want to try to get that around the hook there. Pull it through. Okay. So then we're going to fasten off by yarning over, pulling it through that loop there, and then you just want to pull it tight. Just gonna pretend I pulled it tight, and then if you don't mind this stuff, you can cut it and start a new letter, or you can drag it over and start a new letter that way. But I don't like lettering on mine, but that's pretty much how you would do it. Do it till you spell Sunday, and then that will be it. I'm just gonna remove this, you guys, because again, I don't like to have lettering on my bib. Like I said, and when I was growing up, I did have lettering days of the week. And then you know what? You don't always wear the right day of the week on that day. So I'm just gonna undo this like that. And this is undone. So here we are, you guys, with our bib. It's nice and finished. Tomorrow, or maybe sometime this week, I'm going to continue with the booties. So this is so cute. I love the color, the ease of it. It's very simple. It's so much craft and thought into this, but you know, it's only as much as the fraction of yarn you use for it. So here it is. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. Join me again for part 2 of this video. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos. And again, if there's any requests that you would like to see, leave a comment below or email me in my email address you can find in my About section. If there's images of those instructions, just send me those images. And I will see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.